One of the most controversial videos on my channel is called "Do Not Upgrade to the Ryzen 7 9800X3D." And basically what I was saying in that video, which came out right around the launch of that CPU, when it was sold out and actually being scalped and resold for a higher price, was that for most people this was an absolute pointless CPU, that you should not, in fact, buy it. It would be wasted money. Yet, here I am today, having just upgraded to the 9800X3D. And this is a video about me upgrading to it. Now, did I just change my mind and was I wrong in the original video, or was I just trying to get clicks? Well, actually, I still believe exactly every single word I said in that video, and that is, you definitely should not have bought a 9800X3D at launch for inflated prices. However, now it actually came down quite a bit, also thanks to the release of the big brother, the Ryzen 9 9950X3D. You can get one for the right price, even on discount. So it starts to make more sense. The point, however, still is the same. It's a very niche CPU. It's a CPU which is not perfect in anything except high refresh rate gaming. So if you're looking to get a very good high refresh rate gaming CPU, it's gonna be a good buy. Not the best buy, but a good buy, value for money. Performance-wise, it's gonna be the best. So here's what I've done. I've bought one, I went ahead, I delidded it with Der Bauer's tool. I put liquid metal inside of it, but did not run it direct die. I put back the IHS, and I have then mounted it in my PC. In my PC, I was starting off from a Ryzen 7 9700X3D. So we're basically going from a certain CPU to the same exact CPU with just slightly different boost clock with X3D cache. So I have just upgraded to get the extra 3dV cache, and that's really it. But we've put liquid metal in it, very high performance thermal paste on it, and I have a Deepcool all-in-one 360 with upgraded Arctic fans, which are running quite high in a very high airflow case. And then we went ahead and overclocked and undervolted the 9800X3D, as I show in my videos, to get more performance out of it. And now we basically have the best possible situation. I also went ahead and upgraded my RAM, and I went from the old Team Group stuff, which wasn't really the best performance-wise, even though it was looking nice. I went to some limited edition M-Power DDR5 RAM, 48 gigabytes, 2x24 gigabytes kit, low latency stuff, which is especially made in collaboration with MSI. I have an MSI motherboard. I went ahead, I raised the FCLK on my CPU to match the RAM speed. Everything that I show in my tutorials about how to tweak RAM also. We basically got the maximum possible performance we could out of our CPU side, so CPU and RAM. It's maxed out, overclocked, undervolted, overclocked the RAM, tightened the timings, very good RAM. We have it all, okay? It couldn't be better than this. Unlocked TDP, running on an 80 plus titanium power supply from Seasonic. So why am I making this big introduction? Because even with all of this, my upgrade was basically pointless, because I am currently running an RTX 3090 because it's the best value card right now, in my modest opinion. If you need a bit of VRAM and you're playing at high resolution, you can buy one for like $400 to $500, depending on the model. Extremely cheap. If you go ahead and modify it a little, this is a modified 3090, well, modified is a bit extreme. I just flashed the BIOS, and I've put a phase change in thermal pad inside of it. I have the video on the channel. Anyways, it's basically performs like a 3090 Ti at stock right now, or I would say like a 4070 Ti, pretty much. And right around a 5070, if we want to, like actually a bit worse probably than a 5070, but let's say around a 5070 level of performance. And I am playing at ultra wide 1440p. Now this is gonna be the key part of today's review, because I'm gonna show you guys the temperature that it's running at now. It runs very cool, it runs very quiet. The system is great, very good Firestrike score. It all works fine. However, I saw my average FPS stay exactly the same because we are GPU bottlenecked, but I saw a massive increase in 1% lows. So my gaming experience actually changed by quite a bit by going from 9700X to 9800X3D. But again, we are factoring in the best case scenario, which is upgraded RAM, upgraded cooling. I am lucky enough to be able to have a lot of GPUs on hands. They're not all mine, but a lot of GPUs pass through my hands. So I was able to try with a few different cards. And the first thing I did is I tested out with the Vanguard, which you've seen in my review of the SoC Vanguard RTX 5070 Ti, the best 5070 Ti on the market. I tested it in my PC. It wasn't random that it was in my PC and not in my usual test bench, because I wanted to test it out, see if things changes with that extra 25%, 35% more performance. And the thing was basically the same. So we are still at this kind of resolution, we are not really utilizing the X3D except for the 1% lows. Like the average FPS goes up by like 10 to 15 FPS. It doesn't change my experience of gaming pretty much by swapping Ryzen. So I slapped 5080. Now you're probably wondering, and you're waiting for me to say that with the 5090 everything changes. And that would actually be the case, but I did not try 5090 here today because they are very hard to get, and I can't justify keeping one still to test in my PC for a week at the moment. It's also why my RTX 5090 undervolting tutorial is a bit late, so I apologize for that. But we go back to the initial conclusion I made in my initial video, and that is 9900X3D is an amazing CPU, extremely efficient, very well performing. It has 8 cores, so it's also good for productivity. I use it for editing every day. It's good, balanced for everything. However, you probably do not need it. You're probably gonna buy it because it's the best, but you can just save the money and get a 9700X. Because if you go ahead and get good RAM, maybe you want to even delete that like I did here today. By the way, deleting 9900X3D, I saw nothing online about it. It's the same as deleting a 7000 series Ryzen. It's really simple. Just go ahead, do it, put liquid metal, it's gonna be perfect. However, if you want to do all of that, you can do it on 9700X and get really close to this. And the only real benefit you're gonna get is dramatically increased 1% lows. I'm talking 30% increase in 1% low. So if you're playing competitively, if you need the edge in competitive gaming, in Call of Duty, the new Warzone, we have Verdansk coming back, you know, Apex Legends, those kind of things, then it's worth the buy. But if you're a casual gamer or even competitive, but you don't play at the pinnacle of competitiveness on low resolution with an oversized GPU, this is probably gonna be a worthless upgrade. So I upgraded it just because I am an enthusiast and I wanted to actually give it a run in my system. I kept it for a month, and this is my end review. And that is, you probably don't want to do it, especially if you have a 9700X, you don't want to do the upgrade, you want to just keep your CPU and enjoy it. With that said, X3D chips are amazing. If you buy one, you're going to be happy for sure. And the only downside is you're wasting a bit of money. But money aside, it's an amazing CPU, and I do recommend the Delidding Ryzen 9000. You get a big increase, temperature, it runs better, and I do recommend getting good RAM, like the M-Power Patriot Viper we have here today. Now, as usual in my videos, what I care about the most is hearing what you guys think. So if you have an X3D and you are dissatisfied or you're very satisfied, drop a comment down below so we can all discuss, and maybe I missed a point, and maybe you guys can help someone decide what to buy and to make the right choice. And with that said, if you watched the video this far, come on guys, drop a sub so I can keep making those videos. You know, like, look, I'm trying hard for you guys. And see you guys again. Bye bye.